we need to push the conversations, right? And it's good to have you on the other side of the radio. If you're just joining us right now, you're listening to Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info, your talk news sports radio station. Shortly, we will go live on Facebook, live in YouTube, active and interactive on X. Nigeria Info PH is the handle for all three platforms. And right about now, I do have something interesting I would like to talk to you about. I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine. She recently joined. And in that conversation, we're trying to understand why we are doing radio. And I got to, in that conversation, remind myself that the reason why I am on radio is so that we can have a better society. No, I'm not here because I speak the best of the English or something. I'm not here because I'm the most knowledgeable. Yes, I get it. I can be argumentative sometimes, or many a times. But I'm not on radio because, I want to show flair or anything, but because we want a better society. We want a society, that allows us to express ourselves in the best ways possible. And that's why we talk. And, like the liner would say, talk is not cheap. The talk that we do here is not cheap. It's reformative, educative. It's, inspiring as well. And the main intention is to keep those in authority, not just government authorities. It could be, any part of society, any kind of authority in society. Keep them on their toes to do the right thing at every time. And that's why this conversation is very important. So I came across the story today talking about the House of Representatives, looking at a bill seeking to stop public servants, those in government, those in the civil service, from patronizing private hospitals and schools. And, it tickled my fancy. But this is not the first time such a bill will be argued or such a conversation will make it to the national discourse. And then, I got a little bit of doubt that this will see fruition or some kind of fruition, because for every one time this conversation was bettered, people who were against it argued about the human rights of public servants. I mean, they have the right to choose. They have the right, to choose what education they want to give to their families, or where they want to send their loved ones or themselves, for health care. But after President or the late President Muhammadu Buhari died, and the revelation of how much a night cost in that hospital he was at in London, an argument emerged. An argument emerged as to how much. I mean, that was just one person, a former president. What about the current president? For every time he makes a medical trip, what about, the other people in government that we do not know about, governors, deputy governors, or people who go out there, for medical checkup? How much does it really cost the Nigerian purse every time there is a medical trip, or every time, they send their children abroad? Now, while that argument about cost and its burden on the Nigerian economy, there is also the talk about quality. The argument that if the hospitals were working in Nigeria as they should, or as they were, because, a lot of people have come out in recent months to tell us about how, we had the infrastructures and we had foreign presidents coming to the country to use some of these our infrastructure, so to say. Some people who are knowledgeable in history, are doing that on social media. I'm yet to verify. But, there's a talk about quality. Could the former president have stayed in any of the hospitals in Nigeria if the quality was daring? And no offense to our medical doctors. Even the medical doctors, of course, are crying for better and improved health infrastructure. And a few days ago, was it 3 days ago? Well, I can't remember was it Premium Times now? I can't remember the newspaper that published a report on the very expensively built hospital in Akwa Ibom, built during Akpabio's time, said to be world class, very world class. It was going to rival foreign hospitals. It's left to rot. It's been, not used properly, or if used at all, in Akwa Ibom State. So there is the talk about quality. There's the talk about how much we spend every year to say we're building infrastructure, basic amenities like health facilities, schools, and even security. I'm going to add security now. But we never get it right, possibly because the quality always evades every time we travel and use foreign services. And of course, you have a right. You have a right to travel. Freedom of movement, freedom of choice, as long as it's within the ambits of the law. You've got it all. You have the right. But can we argue that if you say you want to serve the people, service now, then it should come with some level of responsibility, right? It should come with some level of burden. Because I always say it on the show, as enticing as Nigerian politics is, because it looks like every one person who plays politics and you hit it right, you become well-to-do. I don't want to call names, but we saw some of those people in the past 20 months, and their lives changed once the politics they played hit, the right jackpot, right? So as enticing as politics may seem, I don't want to be a politician because it comes with some level of responsibility and burden that I don't think I can carry. I would prefer being here and critiquing those who have decided to take on that task, that responsibility. So if we agree that it should come with a level of burden, a level of responsibility, should stopping themselves from enjoying private facilities not be one of such responsibilities? So that if they are forced to, think of the president's son in a Nigerian university, the argument over the years is that, or the arguments say, there is the possibility that the schools will be better. Imagine if we didn't have policemen in their numbers, maybe just one or two, in their numbers following politicians. Just maybe the security in Nigeria would improve. Maybe the welfare of police officers would improve. Yet again, another maybe. Imagine if public officers are not allowed to use private generators. Then just maybe what we all know as NEPA would work effectively. So you see the angle I'm looking at the bill from, right? Maybe if their children are not allowed to attend private primary, secondary, or tertiary institutions, educational institutions, then just maybe we would have a solid standard. Cast your mind back. When some of our leaders were children, what schools did they attend? Public schools. What was the quality of the public schools? Good, high, excellent. And no offense to private school owners, right? No offense to them. But do you think it will make things work if this bill gets to see the light of the day? And so the question I'm asking on the show, would you vote, if you had the opportunity, of course, if you had to sit with your representative, would you ask him to vote for such a bill to become law Would you want such a bill to become law? And if you say yes, I don't want to hear emotional answers. You see, I've broken down my arguments from solid perspectives, from in my head, of course, and you have a right to counter it. I want to hear yours. Like I said, we don't just do this because we like to do it, because we want to talk every day. We do it because somewhere inside of us we want better conditions, better living conditions. We want, our environment to allow us to express ourselves once again in the best possible ways. So I'm going to go to the phone lines now, just before my first commercial, in about 4 minutes' time. The numbers are the same if you're an avid listener, an ardent listener. But if you're a first timer, you're welcome to church. 0817-923-0002 is the number. Another 0817-923-0003. Another 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp 0809 0306 92.3 Nigeria Info. Good afternoon. Welcome. All of the above. Welcome. What's on your mind? First, your name. What's your name first?
It is a wonderful day, but you will not see the light of the day.
What's your name?
Emeka from Owerri.
Emeka from Owerri. Why do you think it will not see the light of the day?
Who are major beneficiaries of that system we have, that somebody will travel abroad and take treatment? Who are the major beneficiaries? Is it not those people in power? I and you are people educated from of weight abroad. So what am I trying to say? I don't want to mention them. There are many of them in the high power today in Nigeria. The majority of them are the people membership always traveling abroad for treatment. Yeah, now that you sit there, that happens, we come down and put the signature and copy for it to be a law. I don't know, this is like of there. It's also, I just want to say earlier, it's a nice deal.
But do you think the people can twist these lawmakers and the president, of course, because the president will have to assent? Do you think the people can put pressure on our leaders to make this bill a reality, a law?
That dream is very high.
Okay.
It's not possible. See, like me, when I talk to the pressure, political pressure of Nigeria and the constitution of Nigeria, you see, our destiny, for permission to use this word, my destiny is in the heart of these people. People are going to do what they want. So you say, end of the day, the question will come back to play, right? So look at that party today. Call him
I'm sorry, Emeka, the line is terrible. I can hear you clearly. But this one says, man of the people, are the rep members among the public servants? If yes, will they practice what they are preaching? I don't think this bill will scale second reading, because some of these rep members have private schools, from Tango Ability at Twigbo. And once again, I would like to mention, this is not the first time such a bill is coming to the fore of our national discourse. The bill is titled Private Institutions and Healthcare Service Providers Prohibition Bill 2025. Do you see this becoming some reality, some law? Would you like it to? All right, let's come here. Good evening, Canada. There is no way I'll support such unenforceable bill that will restrict public officers from using public officers to use only public schools and public hospitals. Eric Chooks with that one. All right, Eric, thank you. I'll go for a commercial. When I do come back, I will talk some more. Do stay tuned.
Nigeria
What is a conversation on radio without feedbacks from you, the listener? As your number one station for talk, we pride ourselves in not just having engaging conversations that will enlighten, inform, educate, and sometimes even entertain you. From social issues, politics, business, or the stories making the headlines, we make you the center of those conversations by getting your thoughts and opinions too. We would love to hear from you. Be a part of our conversations in Nigeria Info FM Port Harcourt and share your views via the following outlets. Call us live on 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, and 0817 923 0007. Or drop a message for us at Nigeria Info PH on X and at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH on Facebook. Ensure to always be civil and keep your conversations in tandem with the ongoing discussion. Also try to be brief and straight to the point so other contributors and contributions can also be accommodated. Nigeria Info FM. Real people, real conversations. Let's talk. What is a conversation on radio without feedbacks from you, the listener? As your number one station for talk, we pride ourselves in not just having engaging conversations that will enlighten, inform, educate, and sometimes even entertain you. From social issues, politics, business, or the stories making the headlines, we make you the center of those conversations by getting your thoughts and opinions too. We would love to hear from you. Be a part of our conversations in Nigeria Info FM Port Harcourt and share your views via the following outlets. Call us live on 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, and 0817 923 0007. Or drop a message for us at Nigeria Info PH on X and at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH on Facebook. Ensure to always be civil and keep your conversations in tandem with the ongoing discussion. Also try to be brief and straight to the point so other contributors and contributions can also be accommodated. Nigeria Info FM. Real people, real conversations. Let's talk.
2.3 Nigerian Info is the frequency. I am Kaladako Rubatibor. The show is Hard Facts. And I'm looking at the news report talking about a bill titled Private Institutions and Healthcare Service Providers Prohibition Bill 2025, seeking to stop, or should I say, bar public and civil servants and their families, their immediate, let's go with immediate families, from using private schools and hospitals. And according to that report, that bill has passed first reading. And I'm asking you this afternoon if you would like to vote, if you would like your representative, the representative at the House of Representatives representing you to, go for that bill. Would you like it? I know there are the arguments of human rights, but I'm asking, should that be a burden, a responsibility, a sacrifice that public servants and civil servants carry, when they think public officers, you want to go into the civil service? Should that be a responsibility that you would like to carry for the rest of your life? You want to be a you want to be a governor or a legislator? Should that be something you carry for the rest of your life? Well, let's listen to Chima from GRA. Chima, good afternoon to you. Welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to know.
Good afternoon, Kalala.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Thank you. Kalala, I think just like what you said, I do not think that law is going to come limelight. It's not going to work. You understand?
Why do you think it's not going to work?
Is the president not affected? That's the law.
but it would mean that they would have to fix our local institutions, infrastructures, basic amenities.
Canada, it's unfortunate that we have to come up with law. 2000. Hello?
I can hear you.
Yes, it's unfortunate that we have to come up with law before we'll be able to fix our own health care. You understand? I mean, it's unheard of. You understand? So I think the government should do the needful. I mean, you were talking about the former governor of Akwa State when he built world-class
emphasis on
all
world
the
class.
facility. And God tested him. You know how God they test somebody now. God tested him. And he had that little accident. He couldn't use the world class. He had to travel abroad. So coming up with this kind of law is not going to help anything. It's all about political will. And in as much as I believe that the law is not going anywhere, let the government, federal, state, let them fix our health care. You understand? How about people who want to travel abroad based on recommendation?
But sorry. Why would they want to fix the health care if they don't even know the state of the health care? Because they don't use it, and if they don't use it, then they probably don't even know about it. They probably think, oh, okay, Nigerians can get Panadol or can get whatever they can get there, so everybody's fine. As long as they can travel, do you think they will bother about whether our healthcare is working or not? I mean, if they have fine buildings, then it believed that they have done noble, I guess.
That is why the selection of leadership matters so much. You understand? People that are given the mandate, true mandate, not through manipulation.
All right.
Because if you have the interest of the people at heart and you know the process you went through to be at the office you're occupying, you should be able to know the need of the people.
All right.
If you have money to travel, all of us, do we have money to travel abroad? These are the things our leaders should put into consideration if truly they meant well for the people.
All right.
It's not about coming up with laws.
Okay. Chima, thank you. Emeka is back. He's calling from Owerri. Emeka, let's get your thoughts quickly.
What I was saying, you see this bill that came through, even in less than if it were meant to punish the poor. This bill is talking about how to do with the elite. And especially president and the commissioners, ministers, federal, or even people like the Senate president and also court. You are wanted to keep their signature on this kind of bill. I tell you, this bill is dead on arrival.
All right.
As long as it has to do with the elite. If it was to punish the poor, I tell you, already to hang somebody when you see food, the sentence immunity to death. So all those poor for the crime. I tell you, less than 3 months, you get the 100 signature for the president. But the people are talking about that the beneficiary of this, as I said earlier. This bill should not be, whoever they brought back should not become Nigerians.
All right.
I tell you, that thing will just die naturally.
It will die naturally. All right, thank you, Emeka from Owerri. So, the few callers have had, and more people are calling now, I take the calls in a bit, but the few callers have had on the show are saying, this bill is dead on arrival. If the bill is dead on arrival, can we then argue that our lawmakers are not doing people-oriented jobs or duties at the hallowed chamber? And it's good a question to ask, because man hours are spent in deliberating these bills. If this is not feasible, should we not be looking at making laws that are feasible, laws that will really, really touch the common man, the man in the rural area, the man who is looking for a way to survive? Because it will be disheartening if such arguments go to waste. Really, it would be disheartening. And then the other part of it is, while many people argue that the bill might not see the light of the day, what can we do? Because if we say this bill, assume that this bill was to come to fruition, is it something you would embrace? Is it something you will be happy about? Is it something you will celebrate? If it is something you would celebrate, how then do we make sure that these politicians who most likely will bear the brunt if that bill becomes law, how do we make them, make this bill a law? Numbers to call 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. These are the call numbers. WhatsApp numbers 0809-0306416. Saturday is calling from Elelenwo. Saturday, welcome. Good afternoon.
Yes, Canada, that law is
unnecessary. It's a bill. It's not a law yet.
Okay, that bill is unnecessary.
If
we get our public facilities fixed, people will patronize it. There was a time in Rivers State when Amechi was the governor. Our primary school was turned around. We are turned around, and people started withdrawing their children from private school to the public school. So we don't need a bill or a law to force people to make.
But Saturday, does it look like the government is ready to fix these facilities you've mentioned? Does it look like that?
It does not.
So do you think then that such a bill, if it becomes law, may necessitate the government to fix these facilities?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay. All right. Tell me why you argue like that.
The reason is this: people have a right to choose wherever they want themselves to be treated, or their children or themselves to go to school.
I agree. But should that right not be waived if they want to serve? If they want to serve, don't you think they should waive that right? They should waive it off.
I don't think that right should be waived.
Okay. All right.
So it is part of our human rights. So
no. See, when I started the show, I mentioned and I said yes, part of our human rights. It's part of our right to choose. It's part of our right to move from one point to another. But don't you think that service means some level of sacrifice, some level of responsibility, some level of burden carrying, and maybe that's what these leaders should do instead of the enjoyment that we think them to do every now and then.
I don't think so.
All right, so I have
Let us get things going properly, and then things will go into place.
All right. I have the first caller who doesn't think it's a right idea, to pass such a bill. But I've got Marcus. Marcus is calling from Water Lines. Marcus, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Canada.
Yeah, Marcus.
Wow, a good one today.
Okay, it's good to have you join us.
I call this bill a better tomorrow.
Okay. Why do you call it a better tomorrow?
Imagine where public servants, politicians, all will be screening together and avoiding private hospitals. Do you think a governor will loot money that is meant for hospital?
Interesting.
When he knows his family members are sick and have one thing or the other that he will be taken care of. And without taking care of the public hospitals, he cannot. But I think this will sell through if they include the private hospitals outside and private schools outside. That is where it will work more better. Canada, this is not the first time this sort of bill has been raised.
Yeah.
I pray that this bill will come to second and will be passed to law.
All right.
Because the people around it, most of them are highly corrupt. Just like one of the callers said, a whole lot of them are operating some private schools, private hospitals. Imagine we have to support this. Well, may God help this bill see the light of tomorrow.
All right. Marcus calls it a better tomorrow. Do you agree? But you see, Marcus made me remember something. The attitude of civil servants may likely improve as well, or should I say public servants, their attitude to work. Imagine if a police officer, knows that the only way to secure himself is if the police is working rightly, or, the doctor knows that he can only access health care from a public health facility. Don't you think they would act professionally. I mean, all of them. But I've got Mazi from GRA. Mazi, welcome. Let's get your thoughts.
Good evening, Canada. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mazi.
Okay. See, this bill is one of the thing I see in this 10th assembly. The only good thing they have brought in this assembly is this bill.
Okay.
I think it's sponsored by Oga Amodu.
Yes, from Abia State.
Yeah, we should make a law. Anybody who wants to occupy a public office, which is Nigerian office, which is civil servant office, even education, if you have any qualification from abroad, you are disqualified.
No. If you, that's going extreme, because sometimes we need to share knowledge. Having education from abroad is not bad. I mean, China's economic revolution, was because they sent students abroad to go learn from different countries.
Okay, but for me, okay, let me proceed. But for me, I think it's part of the thing, because let me tell you the truth. And what happens to our education here? But if we have these proper things in place, I think our education will be very, very standard. Remember, we celebrate people who go to Oxford, can even Ghana never die. We celebrate them. Back to the issue of health, it should be mandatory. It should be mandatory that if you are going to be a leader politically, you must not go to abroad.
Okay.
If you want to do your personal business, resign from that office, because it's our money that you want to use it to go and get your medical facility.
All right. Thank you very much. And the last caller just reminded me of the NYSC. If you want to be, you have to go for service, right? So can we add this as well? I've got Promise from Remo Dumaya. Promise, welcome. Let's get your thoughts.
Yeah, my brother.
Yeah, greetings to you.
And for me, I would suggest them that people that are forcing this bill to become law, we should start from their children first of all. When we start from their children, then they can now force it general. I think we have one politician in this country before now. Is it El-Rufai or so?
Yeah, El-Rufai, yeah.
That was living by example. But if not for the Boko Haram of the thing, that became a threat and so on. So I think we should start from the children. Those people like Ababio and the rest, their children should start going to public school first before they cannot talk of enforcing.
All right. Thank you, Promise. John from Rumokoro. John, welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Canada.
Yeah, greetings to you.
Yeah, for me, this bill, if I'm the president of this country, this bill is supposed to affect political appointees alone, because they are the only people that are the decision-making authority for this country. They should make it mandatory for if you are a political appointee, your education, you and your children.
Why are you removing the civil servants? Why do you?
You see, the civil servant cannot do anything without the political appointees.
But I mean, attitude to work. While I agree with you, John, you can't argue the attitude to work that we have in many parastatals, many MDA, so to say, ministries, departments.
Leadership by example.
Okay, all right.
If our leaders, if our president, if our governor decide to be in the office by 8 o'clock every day, the commissioner, the minister, is in the office by 8 o'clock, and as he enters, gives a grace of 10 minutes and then locks the gate. That office will change.
True.
Attendance will change immediately.
True.
And those found wanting 3 times, you sack them.
Okay.
And so it's our political that are destroying this country.
Okay.
You can imagine the former president going to London, the present president in London, everybody abroad. We can never go anywhere with this attitude.
Yeah.
And I don't think, check other neighboring countries that are booming now. Their presidents take a decisive decision. Even if democratic president, you can give a law. This is what I want. When Buhari, the present president, removed fuel subsidy, there was no debate about it. President can just wake up and say, okay, this is what I want. And the masses will be behind him.
But for such a very controversial. I don't think the president can make it unilateral because it borders on the human rights of political appointees.
And there's nothing like human rights when it comes to the masses. Everything you are doing is for the masses.
All right, then.
There cannot be any human rights issues that have to say, okay, no. It's because those things that they are doing that are affecting masses, that is where human rights come up. That is the issue. The president just give a law.
All right. Let him give
and from today, medical abroad for political bodies cancelled. It will be implemented.
Okay.
And the masses will support him.
All right, John, I've got to let you go at this point, but thank you nonetheless. Let's listen to J.A.J. from Rumigbo. J.A.J., welcome. Tell me, what's on your mind?
Canada, good evening.
Yeah, greetings.
Canada, I think it may not work.
Why do you think?
It may not work in the sense that I'll take you to America.
Okay.
There's a law in America that if you're a public office holder, I don't know whether it's only the president, but at that top level, your children must attend public schools.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
As for Obama said he was moving into the White House with two puppies. That's his two daughters. And as at then, they were attending private school. Now, they took up the case with Obama. I said, look, the law says that you must take your children to public schools. Obama did a very fantastic analysis on how much the state will be spending if the children are in public schools. They will go with the let me just allow this now. Maybe with the SSS, with the police, guiding the school.
Civil defense.
That is a cost on the state, right? Right? Now, that the school the children are attending already have those facilities. So it's not paying extra. So by the time you check how much the children are paying, how much is paying for the children in the private school, and the one the government will be paying. But
you see, JJ, if I was in America, I would have argued that if the private schools can have those security apparatus, why can't the public?
Yes.
Why can't the public schools where we are having gunshots every now and then in the United States have such security apparatus?
How they want it to be.
Okay.
It's not me. We're talking about the U.S. here.
Okay.
So it's just like maybe you take your child to school, and maybe you're working late, you're in a meeting in the office, and you send somebody to go pick up your child, and the school tell you, this is not our policy, you will sign in or sign out. You understand that type of stuff? So as far as I'm concerned here, if you say, let's say House of Assembly member must go to UPTH, for instance, UPTH, you don't see any security person carrying mopo, it means you'll be coming there.
But don't you think that the UPTH should have robust security? We see. So it's a roundabout conversation. It's
and
not.
By the time they add it up to whatever.
No. So JJ, the argument should not be about an individual having security. It should be about the state having security. I don't know if the argument makes sense.
The argument we are lacking here is how much it costs the state to even provide the security for that individual.
But we don't want.
By the time you put it together, you will now know how much it's costing the state for all this wahoo we are experiencing on the road.
But that's why we need proper security, so we don't.
Madam to the market and all those put together. So since we don't do that, we think it's cheaper for them to escort man to there and even stay there till the man finish the treatment and come back. Unlike where he can just smuggle himself into. And before you know it, he has finished his treatment and come back.
Right.
I think we need to do the cost benefit analysis before we pass such bill.
Right.
Let it not be that the thing is eating us more.
All right,
Go to the public hospital with all the paraphernalia.
All right, JJ, I've got to let you. We've been arguing, but let's listen to Godspar from Rumudara, who's been waiting. Godspar, welcome. Let's talk, please.
My brother Kalada, good evening.
Yeah, greetings.
I'm Eva Godspar.
Yeah, welcome.
Kalada, that bill was one of the brilliant ideas that a lawmaker should propose. But You know my concern, Canada.
Tell me.
Assuming that we see the light of the day, there are other factors too that we may consider that we also have the health sector in Nigeria.
Tell me about.
Canada, if you go to UPTH, you will see that there are pharmacies that were supposed to be operational 24/7 that is being closed down. You know why?
Tell me.
Those doctors and pharmacists that were supposed to be there under government payroll has their own private hospitals. And it's giving me concern.
So attitude to work, I guess.
Sorry?
So you're referring to attitude to work, the professionalism.
I'm telling you that if you go to public, there are agents. Doctors and pharmacists will not be on duty because they are electrical. That should be put into consideration, even in this bill. It's not only barring the government officials.
But see, so there's already a law. God's power. There's already a law that says if you work for the state, if you're a public servant, you cannot run a private business. So there's already a law like that. But yet again, we don't enforce laws. So that's why we see a lot of people, do what they do. This one says we do not need a law to force people to patronize our public facilities. These are properly maintained and given quality deserve, people use them. In days of Amachias, the governor of every state, our primary schools got really standardized and people started withdrawing their children from private schools into state-owned primary schools. Get our public schools and hospitals working and people use them. Today, we Sani. This one says the bill before the House of Representatives and public officers not to allow to send their children to private schools and will not hold ward. They know the trick. They lay in GC. All right, to lay the trees. The bill is dead on the right. I don't think the citizens can influence it to work. Ned Aguma with that one. This says this bill is an effort in facility because nobody passes a death sentence on himself. Jacob Akari is saying that this will be the politicians passing a death sentence on themselves, right? Or declaring a death sentence for themselves. I support the bill. It will help address public infrastructure or infrastructural deficiencies. Let them add that any professional employed in public institutions should not be barred from ownership of the same line of trade. Sapi from Port Harcourt. Okay, I don't get that, but okay. I've got a commercial. We'd have to step on the brakes. But when we do come back, we would now talk about the attitude of, public servants. I'm not talking the political part of it now. I'm talking about the civil servants and corruption in every corner of our society. Just stay tuned.